Hello everybody, and welcome back to another JC Young video. In this episode, I am going for one of GameCube's rarest and most niche items that was ever released on the console. It is the Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Big Box Edition. The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords is a game that allowed you to play with multiple friends as Link and go on a Zelda adventure. You couldn't just plug in your GameCube controllers and start playing with 4 of you. No, instead, you each had to have your own Game Boy that was plugged into the console using a GBA link cable, which means in order to have 4 people play this game, you need 4 different Game Boys. And I wanted to add a special twist to this. I wasn't just getting The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords, I wanted it in its original packaging, the big box. The game actually being in this condition with the box is what makes it so niche, and definitely one of the most difficult GameCube games to obtain. Parker and I's goal was not only to obtain this game, but 4 of our very own Game Boys in order to live out the dream of playing Zelda together. And you know there's only one way that we can get to this. Welcome to Retro Resell. Okay, I've just pulled up to a house for a deal. I realized I don't think I talked about this deal at all. But basically, it's for a Game Boy SP. So I'm here, it's pretty scratched up. I'm gonna try and shell swap it, which I think I can figure out. I've done it before on a Game Boy Color, but I'm told that if it has a hinge, that makes it a little bit tougher. So let's see how this goes. Okay, I just picked up the AGS 101 Pearl Blue Game Boy SP. I'm super hyped about this. I've never had my own Game Boy SP, so this is like so sick. I'm actually really hyped about it. Also came with Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Anyways, really cool, super exciting. I'm really pumped about this. And I think once we shell swap it, it's gonna be even cooler. Just hopefully I can do that successfully without breaking it. At this point in the video, I should probably explain the difference between all the different Game Boy Advance handhelds. So, of course, first there was the regular classic GBA. This is actually what I had growing up, but not the handheld that Parker and I were going for. Next up, they had 2 different versions of the Game Boy SP. The foldable, portable Game Boy. I saw these as a kid and thought they were so cool, but I was never able to get my hands on one. Now, I did say there are 2 different versions. One is called AGS 101 and the other one is AGS 001. AGS 101 came out later and just has a brighter screen. That's literally it. That's all that makes it different. And in this episode, I need the ones with the brighter screens, so we're targeting AGS 101. Some crazy stuff as we were on this Game Boy SP journey. In Pocatello, Idaho, there was a guy selling this Game Boy SP for $50. And where I'm trying to collect 4 of these bad boys, this is a great deal that I cannot pass up. Parker has a buddy who lives there in Pocatello, so we're gonna see if maybe he can grab it for us. If we can secure this deal, it would be huge. I think we can still make our money back, but we just gotta wait and see. Holy freaking crap. This is crazy. Shout out to Parker's friend Joe, who lives in Idaho. Parker ends up texting his friend who lives there. He couldn't end up going, and so then he called his family, and they're helping out. They're going to pick it up for me. So just so nice. Everybody just put down in the comments, Joe is a stud, because he is, dude. That was so nice of him to do. I should explain that because this item is so niche, Parker and I thought that the only way that we would come across it, apart from eBay, was a gaming convention that was taking place in just a few weeks here in Utah. We didn't know if this game was gonna be there. We just had seen tons of clips of conventions online and thought it would be really cool to save up as much as we could to go to one of these conventions, hopefully find our grail, and pick up a bunch of games along the way. Now, how much is a lot of money? Our goal? $500. Okay guys, we are in kind of an interesting predicament. I'm going to try to get rid of all the things that have not sold by taking them to Galaxy Games, including that Xbox that Parker picked up. We cannot sell that freaking thing. We can just get our money back. I'm also gonna bring in both the Lego Star Wars games, and then I will also bring in the Worms game that we got. So hopefully between all of that, we can get enough money that we're maybe making some profit so that we can get out of the freaking pit, because we're in the pit hard. In between episodes, Parker actually picked up one of these Xboxes. It was a Minecraft edition, and it was just really tough to sell. So that's the Xbox I'm referring to in this clip. Okay, we've made it to Galaxy of Games, so time to see what all this stuff goes for. Okay, terrible news. They don't want to take the Xbox right now because they have a lot of them. So I am looking at the GameCube section to see what they have. They have Godzilla in there, which is a high one. We've wanted on our list for a long time, but it's like $40. So I don't know. I'm looking at the low dollar games now to see if there's anything I can find. There it is. This player's choice. Disappointing. Not the news I was hoping for. As far as Godzilla goes, here's the thing. Parker hates that we're in the pit as much as we are right now, and that would have put us $15 further in the pit. Even though it's a big game on our list that we've wanted for a long time, the case was also wrecked. There's no manual, so all of that to be said, I pulled the trigger and I bought Godzilla. You could be King Ghidorah. Look at that. We had to have it, so I bought it. Picking up Godzilla in our first 2 SPs was a huge win. And we actually didn't stay in the pit for too long. I was able to sell that Xbox One. We were completely out of the pit and ready to pick up a new deal. A Wii this time. Okay, time to show off everything that we got in this box. First, we got a couple of Wii games, new Wii Carnival games, as well as the Michael Jackson Experience. And we also got Wheel of Fortune, but get this, it's completely sealed. And next up, we have the actual Wii itself. As far as controllers go, we do have this pink one with the Wii Motion Plus built inside. It's actually really cool and makes it go for about 20 bucks because of that. And then we just have a classic Wii remote as well. So I think those are the only 2. Here is the big ticket item I was pumped about, Wii Sports. Now in preparation for the convention, Parker and I had to do a lot of selling. And if I was to show every single clip, it's actually just a lot of me sitting in the car talking. And I didn't think that was super entertaining for you guys. So I'll show a few and I'll tell you about a few. One that I'll tell you about is I was able to pick up an N64 with a couple of reproduction games. I picked up the whole thing for 80 bucks and sold each of the reproduction games for 20 bucks. I am heading out now to go pick up a great deal that I just found on Facebook Marketplace. $100 for a silver GameCube with a controller. Includes 3 games. One of them is Resident Evil, which is probably the highest dollar one. Resident Evil is on my list. All of the Resident Evils are on my list, and I only have Resident Evil 4 right now. So that would check another Resident Evil off my list. It has it's been haunting me. I've seen it a few times at Game Galaxy, had the chance to jump on it, but I have chosen not to twice. I also have another deal cooking up on a bunch of GameCube games next week that I'll pick up next Saturday. It has Disney skateboarding in the mix. A lot of the games I'll try and sell, but Disney skateboarding, definitely a keeper for me, as well as 2 Wavebird controllers. Now they don't have the little dongle with them, which is something, you know, I'll have to buy later, and normally the most expensive part of having a Wavebird. You guys posted on that deal, but let's head over and buy this GameCube now and potentially add Resident Evil to the collection. I don't know, we'll see. Cool, I appreciate that. And then that's 80 right there. Picking up Resident Evil was a huge win, and I had to keep it in the collection. So after talking it out with Parker, we decided it was a keeper for sure. Next up, I told you I sold those N64 games, but the N64 itself was just tough to get rid of, and I had somebody offer me a trade. They said if I gave them the console and threw in 30 bucks, that they would give me a GameCube and Super Smash Bros. Melee, as well as Double Dash. It felt worth it to me, so I went to make the trade. We got it. Hey, how's it going? Yes, I am, yeah.
Perfect. Cool. So, all right, hey, thanks a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it. We'll see ya.
All right. Betty and I are heading out right now to go pick up those GameCube games. It is it's normally like a 45-minute drive. What's so nice is for you guys, there's the power of time travel. By the time I snap my fingers, we will be there. So, yeah. Okay. Snap, we're here. Took forever to get here. The deal is actually over. Didn't have time to film it, but let's show you what we got in the collection. Hey guys, what's up? It's Editing Jace here. I somehow lost this clip of showing everything that we got in this deal, but later on in the video, I show it again, so hold out for that. Okay, what is this? Back in the car again. How many car shots can you have in one video? You know what I mean? I have some updates, some great updates. I have gone ahead and sold one of the GameCubes, the one with Mario Kart Double Dash. So that's sick. Sold that for $125. I still have the Smash Bros. One up for $125. So really excited about that. All in all, we're looking at about 110 profit for me right now in the profit box. So that is sick. Super hyped about that. Gosh, I hate the pit. It sucks. Feel like we've been in it for a while, but we just had to buy up so much. Now at this point, Parker and I were making a lot of sales, but we were also spending a lot to make those sales, and we were worried about how much time we would have. And then I had an idea. Back at my parents' house, there was our entire collection of PlayStation 2 games. Not only the games, but a PS2 console, a PlayStation 1 console, multiple PSPs. It was a gold mine. Now I know Parker and I got to this place with GameCube because we sold everything, but we really wanted to have a lot of money going into this convention. And we never touched this stuff. So we made the tough decision that we were gonna bust it all out and try and sell as much of it as we could. And down the line, if we ever want to collect PS2 or PS1, we can do that. In fact, I think what I like the most about this is the chase. Okay, so this is the PlayStation 2 that me and my brother had. A couple old games that we really enjoyed, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank. Betty trying to get away with a cord. Hey, none of that. Disney Infinity guys that we had growing up, trying to sell those for like 50 bucks. A bunch of random controllers all over the place. I don't even think that many work. Some do. Here's a bunch of our games right here. Bunch of PS2 stuff, some Wii stuff in there. Here's some other. What are you doing out there? In here, there's a PlayStation 1, a couple other games, a couple Wii accessories, just stuff like that. So this is the Wii that I'm selling currently on Facebook Marketplace. Here are the games from Friday. Everything is just a mess. This entire room, just a mess right now. And it is Betty's playground to eat everything. Here you go, man. Thanks so much.
If you want it.
Now, after busting all of this out, I actually remembered that growing up, I used to have a PlayStation 2 in my room with multiple games. And I was wondering where each of those games were. So I decided to go down and search my crawl space and see if there were any old boxes from my room growing up that had games in it. And I truly had no idea the gold that I was about to find right underneath my house. Okay. Oh, goodness gravy. I see games. Okay, really unfortunate. This box fell down. I'm going to dig through this box because I just made a freaking mess and see what I can find. Oh my gosh. We didn't throw it away, dude. We didn't throw it away. There are 2 games, GameCube games, in this box that we kept. And one of them is 4 Swords, the whole reason we've been making this video. And it also has a copy of Smash Bros. Melee in there. So that's sick. And Soul Strike for Star Wars Rogue Squadron. This is on the list. No freaking way, dude. That's so awesome. No way. Oh my gosh. Parker's gonna be hyped. I found some more PS2 stuff as well. So I also have like Transformers. So a few games. And a bunch of PSP stuff. So super excited about that. I feel like there's a good amount for me to go through here. So I'm gonna pull it all out, bring it upstairs, and I'll show you guys what I got. But that's insane. Literally, this is what we're working so hard for, and we have it. We just need the big box. Oh my gosh, that's gonna save us so much money at the convention. That's crazy. I'm so hyped. Guys, I swear to you, I had no idea these GameCube games were in there. Parker and I felt like we hadn't gotten rid of 4 Swords, but we could not find it, no matter how much we searched my parents. And so to see that it was just sitting in a box in my basement this entire time was insane. After getting the game, I climbed back up the ladder upstairs, threw it in the GameCube, and again, this is just one of those moments in the series that's unforgettable and just felt like magic. That was truly a moment. Now, just a day later, I had a bunch of sales set up. The first sale that I made was on the PSP for 80 bucks. I sold a bunch of the PlayStation 2 games that we had for around 50 to 60 bucks. Then to top it off, I had a deal set up for later that day to go and sell the PlayStation 2. And here's what happened. There it all is for you.
Stoked, man. Can I sit it just right here?
Yeah, feel free to look at it, whatever. I just wanted to give a quick update while I reorganize some stuff, throw some more games into the collection that aren't currently on the shelf right now, and talk about where we're at with everything right now. So like I said, as I do this, I'm going to go through some of those games that we got earlier and start putting them all on our shelf. Now, here are the updates. I have some really great news and some really bad news. I think it's always best to start off with the bad news. So, as I unbox these games here, let's talk about it. Unfortunately, the guy who I sold the PlayStation 2 couldn't get it to power on. I hadn't really used the system in years, but I was just so confident that it worked. I guess after sitting on a shelf for years, something inside it just stopped working and it won't power on. Maybe it's an easy fix, maybe it's not, but the guy asked if he could give it back to me and if I could do a full refund. I'm not gonna sell somebody something that doesn't work or something that's broken. That's just pretty messed up, I think. And definitely not the type of person that I wanna be. So I gave him a full refund, which means that took us from $380 profit down to $280 profit. So little disappointing. Now, let's talk about the great news. But before we do, check out all of these awesome games that we got. Now, as it comes to some of the low-tier Disney stuff, haven't decided. I think maybe I'll just keep it, but there's also talks of me maybe trading things in. The good thing is I have this nice stack of Wii that I don't think is really gonna sell, so probably gonna trade a lot of that in and see if that helps Parker and I. But I'll start adding all of this to the stack, and the great news is these two are really the heavy hitters that I was pumped about from that, especially now that I found the other rogue leader. It's actually downstairs right now, so really sick. All right, the great news. I sold the GameCube today. Lowered the price from $125 down to $100 just because it wasn't selling. Some guy bought that. He also bought the extra copy of Smash Bros that I had. So he wanted 2 copies of Smash Bros, I guess, because the GameCube was in a bundle. But all of that together sold for $145, which if you're doing your math, that actually brings our profit from $280 up to $425. Now, if you look at it, that's super exciting, right? We are so freaking close to our goal. Bad news, we would have had our goal had the PlayStation worked, but you do what you can. I have Zelda 4 Swords, and of course, Star Wars Rebels Strike, which completes the Rogue Squadron set. I know you're saying Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Squadron 3. What about Rogue Squadron 1? Looked it up, apparently came out on the N64. And what's crazy is this is our first ever Zelda game in the actual collection, because Twilight Princess wasn't ever really mine. Hoping we can make a change to that and get every single Zelda when we head to the convention. For now, let's finish stacking these babies up. Our collection has grown immensely, and we are going to have to start moving to another shelf. But crazy to see how just in a matter of a few months, our collection went from literally nothing to this. So cool to see how you can build up a collection for free if you're just willing to put in the work and the effort of reselling. I haven't done anything crazy that nobody else can do. I've just simply bought and sold things that I've seen for good prices. And I think anybody can do the exact same thing. And there are just so many more games that we have to cross off this list. So please, if you haven't already, subscribe, because this series is going to get crazy. I can already feel it. I've had a few sales go through in the last few days that I just want to run through with you guys. First, the PlayStation 2 actually sold for $30. After fees, I took home $24. Then I had the GameCube controller for the Nintendo Switch. That baby sold for $20. Then today I had an additional sell, and this Yoshi's Island sold for $25. I have to ship it out to them, so I'm expecting to take about 21 home after the shipping. Then to add on top of that, I had somebody buy the PlayStation 1 for $80. And then I had a person just stop by and buy all of the additional PlayStation games that I found for $30. Parker and I will be heading to Galaxy of Games today to trade in a bunch of that low-tier Wii stuff. I am hoping that they have an AGS 101 Game Boy there. That is a real long shot. It would be crazy if they did have one. I'm also thinking about bringing a bunch of the Disney Infinity figures that we had growing up. I would feel okay trading those in. I don't think we're gonna get a lot of money for them, but if it helps us get towards that Game Boy or some other crazy game that they have there, I think it's worth it. All right, Parker has arrived. It's now time for me to give him the update on how much profit we're at.
Okay, I'm ready.
As of today, we are at $665 profit.
Wow, how did you get that? We're gonna be able to get to 700.
It's possible.
Dude, let's do it.
We still have the PSP.
Okay, yeah. Preparation might pay off.
one day. These were a couple games that were on Parker and I's list, but they weren't in great condition. One had the manual and the other one didn't. But while we were there, we did pick up 2 GBA link cables using some of our profits. Okay, it's a new day. Last night, Parker and I took all of our stuff to Galaxy of Games, and the guy said that he more specialized in like card games and stuff like that, and so that they would need to hold on to this stuff until tomorrow, which is now today, be able to tell me how much store credit we would be able to get. Well, the results are in, and they're pretty astonishing. He called me back and said we will be getting $164 store credit, which is crazy. That's massive right now. So I am hyped about that. Honestly, last night when we were in there, they did have a Game Boy SP, but it wasn't AGS 101, which is super disappointing because if they did have one, I would just use the store credit for that. But heading over there now, we'll see what we can find. I had a quick stop in Galaxy of Games. I felt like I showed you guys a lot of this stuff last night, so I didn't think there was a point in like double filming. So I just wanted to show you all of the pickups that we got. I spent all of the store credit. So here's what we got. First up, I picked up 2 more of the link cables. This will complete our set of 4 link cables for 4 swords. So will Parker and I ever actually have 2 other people join in with us? I don't know, but good to have them. Also tomorrow I have a deal going through to pick up a Game Boy SP. Now that we have reached our goal of $500 and we are over that at this point, Parker and I feel comfortable spending some money on Game Boy SP to be able to pick up our 3rd one of 4 that we need. So they didn't have a charger for it, so I picked up one of those here for 10 bucks. So that's the boring kind of low tier stuff. The cool stuff that we ended up getting was a bunch of GameCube games. So first up, we got SSX3. I mean, SSX is one I really wanted. I still want On Tour. That is the one I'm hunting for, but happy to get the first one of the 3 in our collection. We got Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicle. This is really cool because this is also a game. As you can see, you use the Game Boy SPs for it. So next up, we were able to get Harvest Moon. Unfortunately, this one does not have the manual, which is a little bit disappointing. Next up, we have NHL Hits 2002. Awesome, he ended up doing $6 on this for me, which the one in the back was marked at like almost 20, I think. So that's sick. NHL Hits 2002 is on our list. And now it is time for the heavy hitters. Mario Golf. This is so sick because this finally completes our Mario Sports collection. This was the last game that we needed for that, which is funny because this is one of the ones I wanted the most of all of the sports games. And so it's just taken us so long to get here. I have passed this game up in the case so many times. In fact, I have 3 copies in there. Looked through all 3, felt like this one was in the best shape, so we got it. And finally, there was one last pickup, Star Fox Adventure. This game I have heard plays more like a Zelda game than a Star Fox game, which is very interesting. But this actually completes our Star Fox collection as well. There are 2 Star Fox games on the GameCube, Assault and Adventures, and we now have both of them. Our collection is building up so nicely. Can't wait to put these ones on the shelf. Guys, as always, if you have made it this far in the episode, thank you so much. To end out the episode with such a surplus of money, Parker and I decided we would pick up our final 2 Game Boy SPs. I went on Facebook Marketplace, found somebody that was selling a black one for $100, and went to make that deal. We got it! Betty was pulling her regular shenanigans. So here it is, black Game Boy SP, AGS 101. Has a little bit more scratching than I actually thought, but I mean, it's cool. We're shell swapping it anyways. Turns on, works great. There's a charger in there and just a couple games. It was $100, but like I said, think this is worth it. We are now 3 SPs down and only 1 more to go. And I have that deal cooking up for Monday. And now finally, after weeks and weeks of work, after so much reselling, more reselling than I've probably ever done, we were able to get the final and one of the coolest Game Boy SPs.
Pull up the QR code really fast. Okay.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and scan it.
So it works.
We freaking did it. The final SP. And not only is it the final SP, I think it's the coolest one that we have, the Pikachu one. And obviously look at that. That baby is beat up hardcore. But yes, really hyped about that. Look at that little Pikachu there. This is super sick. I am so hyped about it. So pumped. We have the final SP of the collection. Okay guys, it is that time of the episode. It's about time to cross some games off the list. Real quick, I'll just say, right here we have a few SPs, Groudon SP, Rayquaza, Kyogre, Zelda. That's what I want to shell swap the Game Boy SPs to be. So I'm not going to cross them off quite yet until we reach that point. Okay, let's do this. Guys, thank you so much for watching. What comes next in this series is so crazy, it had to be its own episode. So in just 2 short weeks, you will get the release of Retro Resell Episode 4. But for now, here's a little sneak peek.
Pulling in right now to the GameCube bench.
Dude, I'm nervous. I'm seeing all these people out here and they look intense.
Yeah, I like the Blink-182 phone case.
Thank you so much.